happened? He said, there's a big problem with your list. I'm like, what is the big problem? Did I forget to mention Alex? And he's like, no. There's a big problem in your list because this list does not have you. Where are you in this list? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, son, you are the only problem you can ever have. And fortunately, you are the only solution you will ever have. I'm like, tell me more. My boss is still an idiot. So he told me that I'm going to give you 4 life lessons that will help you deal with any bad situation. Lesson number 1, happiness is a decision. In every bad situation, you can decide to crib about it, you can blame things on others, or you can try to fix things by accepting things as it is and work on yourself. Lesson number 2, you should work 3 times more than you are paid for, and then say that I'm working hard. Lesson number 3, people like you when they know you like them. So in your head you cannot say I'm fair. Show people that you like them, and then they like you back. Lesson number 4, work like a salesman. You cannot sell what you want to sell, but you can always sell what they want to buy. So understand them first, before saying that they don't understand you. So I started following all these things. I worked hard for another 1 year. My colleagues started liking me. And then I had another review, and my boss yelled at me again. I'm like, I followed every single thing, but still things didn't work out. What happened? So my relation with my boss never changed, but something changed in me. This time I didn't blame anyone, because I realized that I am the only problem I will ever have, and I'm the only solution I will ever have. I left the company. I started my higher studies, but I never said any bad thing about my boss after that. And my life took a very good move. I'm in a better position right now, but I could have been there, crib about it, not getting promotion, crying every day, but things might not have worked out at all. So my one message to all of you to take home today is, when you are in doubt, ask yourself that how can you make this situation better rather than crying about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jiten. Our next speaker is none other than the president of this club, Alex Mathews. He's going to be talking about a speech, moving past the history of fear. It's 7 to 9 minutes for Melissa, and history is something that has already happened. Some people say that history repeats itself. Alex is going to be talking about his past stories and how he changed his future. So let's welcome Alex to the stage.
Toastmasters, I have 3 stories from my past that are undoubtedly true and unforgettable about me that I'm going to share with you today. 3 stories true that I never forgot. First story, I was around 12 years old. I was in the summer camp, and I remember a big lake, and it was sweltering hot. The sun was shining on the lake, and it was glistening off. And I remember the forest around it. It kind of reminded me of Friday the 13th, with that scary dude who goes around backs. But it didn't scare us as children. I ran up there on the dock and let out to the middle of the lake with my friends, about 4 or 5 of them. We ran down the dock. We were ready to go swimming in the middle of the lake. One kid splashed in. Ah, another kid, another kid. And then I got to the edge of the dock, and I stood there. And then I heard a sound. It was the lifeguard. He was like, halt! I was like, what does this guy want? So I turned to him, and he tells me I don't have a wristband. I was like, wristband? What do you need a wristband? He's like, for safety. I don't want you jumping in the pool and drowning. These kids are 12. I was like, okay, what do I have to do? He told me I have to swim all the way out there to the buoy and swim all the way back to get this wristband. And I was like, see, that was like a mile to me at 12. Honestly, it was about a lap in a regular sized pool. But he said, start whenever you want. So there's the edge of the dock. I take one step closer, my heart drops. I take another step, my heart drops even further. And then I take one step, and I'm right there at the edge of the dock. My heart sinks. And I wasn't nervous, like on stage or your legs shaking. I was scared. I've always been afraid of the water. And I was scared stiff. My muscles tightened, and I just froze. And I remember tears falling down my face, and there was nothing I could do about it. That was an unforgettable experience in my childhood. Many years later, I had a friend named Michael. He was kind of a sketchy dude, but a fun dude. You probably have friends like this. He was sketchy, but fun. He liked to drink, and I liked to drink too. We just graduated high school. We weren't legal, but you know. So we lived out in the sticks, and I drove out there, went to his house, and he opened up this fifth of vodka, and we just started shooting it back and reminiscing about the good old days, because we were 18. And we were like, let's drink, and he's like, let's drink, and we drank. I waited 30 minutes, walked out to my truck. I got to the door, and I thought about it. I was like, should I be driving? So I got in the truck. You know where this is going. And I'm driving down the road. Right over the interstate to Valasa. And then I look in my rearview mirror after hearing, "Reep, reep!" Blue light shining in my rearview. My heart sank, sank, sank. Even deeper than my swimming story. I was scared shitless. My muscles froze up. I could barely turn the wheel to get over to the side of the road. That's how scared I was. I wasn't ready for this. Turns out he pulled me over because of my taillight. Many years later, actually just a few days ago, how many of you went to Six Flags tonight at UGA? Okay. I went with my girlfriend, who's none other than Melissa over here, and we were walking around the park. And I see this roller coaster. Not really a roller coaster, it just goes all the way up and all the way down. Melissa says, "Hey, let's go on that roller coaster." She sounds like that. I was like, there is no way I'm getting on that roller coaster. I was resolute, Toastmasters. And she said, "No, let's go, you're being a baby." I was like, "No." She said, "Let's go." I was like, "No." So I'm in the roller coaster seat. And it starts going higher and higher and higher. And my heart sinks lower and lower and lower. Okay? I was at the top. And I remember this like it was just 2 days ago, guys. And it was 2 days ago. My heart was so low. I was trying to keep that smile to be manly. But I just had a blank face. It was scarier than the swimming, the DUI. This was the scariest moment of my life. I've always been afraid of heights. And then it dropped. These 3 stories in my past are true and unforgettable to me. These are my personal history. And the title of my speech is Changing My History of Fear. Changing history. No, I don't mean changing my past, what's already happened. But if history has a trend, if you change yourself and your ways, you can basically change what would be your history. My swimming situation. I started swimming every day, 5:30 a.m. at Moody Air Force Base. Swam first, split splash every day, then started swimming a lap, then started swimming a mile a day. Conquered that. My DUI. Now every time I got drunk, I get up to my truck, and I'm like, whoa. I take a step back, and I check my taillight before I get in the car. Just kidding. Drunk driving is not good. But by changing that history trend, I not alone saved my life, but probably others that could have been hurt by me. And lastly, my fear of heights. I've always been afraid of heights. I'm the type of person you see that has those Christmas lights on their house all year long because I don't want to get on the roof to change them because I'm scared. That's how bad the fear of heights is for me. So this year, 2017, I'm going to be skydiving to face that fear, change my trend of history. Now, I'm talking today about fear, and you don't have to change your fear. You might have other things that you can change. But I just don't want you to become 30 or 40 or whatever you think old is and look back and say, wow, I see that consistent behavior. I probably should have changed that a long time ago. So, Toastmasters, what would you change about your history? Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Our last speaker of the day is Tyler Burnette. He's going to give a speech about Interpersonal Skills 101. He recently read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, and he's going to be, oh, there's the book right there. And he's going to be giving 6 lessons on how to make friends anywhere. So let's welcome Tyler to the stage.
I've actually read it twice, but you know, good counting. All right, guys. How's everybody today? Good?
Great.
Great? Well, I'm sorry I couldn't hear you. I know. You didn't move your lips. All right. Okay. I'm picking on you every time. All right. So in the business place, it's important to have interpersonal skills because businesses don't talk to businesses. People talk to people that are in the businesses. And this is true for anything, doctor's offices, corporate, whatever. So there's 6 rules that I'm going to tell you today, and by the end of it, you should be somewhat competent. To be fully competent, you honestly need to read that book. It's a great book. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So, first rule, become genuinely interested in other people. Have you ever talked to somebody and you can tell their vibe, they're not genuinely interested in what you're saying, that they're just there and they have just ready to get done with it and finish that text message or check that Facebook notification? It's a turn off to people, especially in business, because time is money. It always has been and always will be. Okay? So always become genuinely interested in other people. Genuinely. Because if you don't, they can tell it's fake. Another thing people don't like, nobody likes this face. Right? Nobody likes to be around a grump, ever. So always smile. See, when you smile at somebody, they want to smile. See? See, there we go. We feel good when we smile. So it's good to smile at other people, right? Okay, especially when you're trying to sell something or buy something at the price you want to buy it at. Third, remember a person's name. I can't tell you how many times, when I was younger and I went to the bars a little bit more and I met, some girls out at the bar and then I met them the next weekend and I completely forgot their name. What did they do? Were they there, drinking with me, having a good time? No. They didn't like me because I forgot their name. Nobody likes it when you forget their name. It's true in the bar, it's true in the business. So that leads me to my 4th, which is, drawing a blank here. Remember what you're speaking about is also a good thing in business. So be a good listener and encourage others to talk about themselves. I don't know if you've ever met somebody, that guy that's staring at himself in the gym, just gazing at his muscles, cannot, for whatever reason, just take his eyes off of himself in the mirror and is always talking about himself. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. For a while. Anyways, we all have our own opinions. I'm not saying you shouldn't voice yours. But that person that you're talking to does not want to hear you ramble on about yourself. Encourage them to talk about themselves. Which leads me to my 5th point, which is to read more and study your speech more before you go. Which is speak in terms of another person's interests. So if you're talking, I love rodeo. Right? I love rodeo. I love working out. But if I go into a business setting and that's all I talk about, they're not going to be very interested in me because they may not be interested in rodeo or weightlifting. Okay. And then the sixth and final point that I want to make to you is that you need to make the other person feel important. Because everybody, I don't care what you say, everybody wants to feel important at some point in their life. I mean, you know, that's why we have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, because everybody wants to be, you know, the next online star. So I encourage you to take those 6 points and apply them to your life, and I promise you it will change. Also, read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. Now we're going to move into the improvisational speeches that I talked about earlier, and to head that up is going to be Enrique. So let's welcome Enrique up to the stage.
Let me just set up right quick. How you guys doing today? Good.
Great.
Good.
Happy Monday. So normally in table topics, you know, what normally happens is that somebody goes up here and they ask you a question that pertains to a past, something in your life, something happened in your life. They ask you to recall a memory or something like that, right? But today I wanted to do something different. I wanted to take a avant-garde approach to table topics. Okay. So today for today I had the idea of creating a collaborative experience, a narrative experience from everybody. Okay, or at least the people that go up here, right? So the way that this is going to work is that I'm going to provide a story element, right? And then the person that comes up here, the person I call on, they're going to elaborate on that story element, right? So if I say setting, the person is going to describe like when